Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a Dominican cake recipe. I'm not going to lie, you cannot find this recipe on my blog. I did not write the recipe because the whole cake altogether kind of didn't come along. The cake part did, but the icing part didn't. So pretty much Dominican cake, it is a very light spongy cake, and then it has Italian meringue frosting all over. It's called also sospiro dominicano. So the frosting didn't happen. I cut it out of the video, and I'm just gonna show you guys how I did the actual cake part, because it actually came out really good. The frosting still tasted good, it just didn't get thick enough to where I could decorate and actually frost the cake. So that was a disaster. Definitely don't recommend. I'm going to be working on that recipe soon, but for now I will be sharing with you the cake part of it. So I had a bunch of butter in this bowl, and I just used my hand mixer to mix it up. Now, if you have a stand mixer, please use the stand mixer. Matter of fact, I was so close to going out and buying a stand mixer for the sole purpose of doing this recipe, because this cake, the batter, it needs to mix for so long. The texture has to be glossy at the end. You don't get that if you don't mix for a very long period of time. Now, I cut a lot of this mixing out because I don't want to waste your guys' time. But my hand and my arm was cramping. Let me just say that. So the butter was whipped for a very long time. I want to say like 20 minutes. And I've told people that I was whipping this cake and the frosting by hand, and they're like, you're crazy. Another thing, I think that the frosting didn't come out good because another thing, you have to whip for very long, and I don't have a stand mixer. So anyways, right now I am separating. I put some eggs in the white bowl, just the yolk and the white part, but now I'm separating, and I'm keeping the egg whites for the frosting, which you guys aren't gonna see. But sospiro, you need egg whites to get that going. So once I have all the eggs separated how I need it to be, I'm gonna cover up the egg whites, put that in the fridge for tomorrow, because I am baking this cake like very late at night. Fun fact, the sole purpose for me making this cake is because it was my friend's birthday. She's Dominican, and she really wanted this cake. It was kind of a surprise, and it was also like a very hard design. It was like a heart-shaped, those heart-shaped cakes that are in style now with the trim around the edges. So it was heart-shaped, and yeah, the heart-shaped honestly threw me off. The frosting, like I said, it was not thick enough or hard enough. It was kind of soft, and it wasn't applying very well. But I truly believe that if I had a heart mold and I had a couple extra hours to get that frosting to harden up, this would have came out just as how I imagined. Another thing I didn't have, time. I was crunching for time when I was making this. So anyways, I'm back to whipping my butter a little bit more, and I'm gonna be adding the eggs one at a time. And again, if you have a stand mixer, this will save you. This was a workout. Let me just say that. But the cake was very good. It was just very soft. So here I am mixing until you don't see any of that egg anymore. And once I have all of these eggs in there, and I think I used like a whole carton of like a dozen eggs for this recipe. It was crazy. And it only made 3 tiers. So yeah, a lot of eggs. So I'm going to be doing every single egg. I'm probably going to be fast forwarding some of this because it is a little repetitive and very tedious to watch. But let me just say, even though I was up super late doing this recipe, another thing, I'm not a baker, guys. Like, I'm not a baker. You can look through this whole YouTube channel and my blog. There's some desserts on there. I'm not a baker. It's not one of my favorite things to do. Obviously, I do love eating desserts, but I'm more of a cook. There's some recipes on there that are dessert recipes that now I have my team working on. So that's great because, there's bakers out there in the world, but I'm just not one of them. And again, why did I volunteer to make this cake? I have no idea. I'm a good friend, I guess, but not really, because you know what I ended up doing? This cake never got to my friend. This cake got gifted to someone else who loves cake, and you know, they'll eat any cake even if it's not the prettiest cake. I had to go buy a cake on the day of from the supermarket. Yeah, she was not happy, and I was very disappointed because you see all this mixing? This all went to waste. Not really, but kind of, sort of, in a way, because it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Anyways, here we are mixing the 100 million eggs that I have to mix. I guess I didn't decide to fast forward, and I thought that you guys deserve to watch every single egg be mixed in. I don't know what's wrong with me. This little hand mixer right here, let me just say, I had another one in the past that when you used it for a very long time, it would get really hot and overheat and eventually make a really weird smell and stop working. This one, I've been mixing for probably like 45 minutes now, from the butter to the eggs, and it was going very good. And you see that? Look at me using one of the attachments instead of two. I think I realized that later in the video too, maybe with the icing. I'm like, wait, if I put two attachments, this will go way faster. It's just, I'm so used to a stand mixer, you have one attachment. So, I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, guys, we finished the eggs. Congratulations to me. We're done mixing for now. I'm going to be making sure all the edges are incorporated as well, because a lot of that stuff stayed on the side of the bowl. I'm going to be mixing this indefinitely. And we're going to be adding the next ingredient, which looks like some sugar. So this is where the sugar now gets incorporated into everything. And we're going to be mixing it away for however long, I guess, I desire, until it looks correct. I'm pretty sure I added this in different increments. So that was one part of the sugar, and this is the other part of the sugar. This recipe is very specific on, when things should be added and the length of mixing, so please be sure to keep that in mind. I'm not going to include a very formal recipe here just because this is a very informal video. But anyways, I love how it's such a nice yellow color right now. That's from all of the yolks. And did you see that? How long do you think I mixed that for the texture to get to this? That's crazy. I just skipped everything. I probably mixed for like 20 minutes. Alright, so now I'm adding the flour. I'm also pretty sure that this is one half of the flour, and the other half is going to be coming in a little bit later. And I am mixing all of the flour in. Look at me just not caring about all that flour and dust getting all over the place, including the camera, it looks like, because the camera quality got a little worse. Anyways, this is all going to be incorporated to the batter very nicely. The one thing I really liked about this recipe, though, was that even though it's a million eggs and a bunch of butter and a whole lot of mixing, it was very simple. Like, the time and the ingredients are a lot, but the type of ingredients you need, and I don't know, it was just a very straight to the point recipe in my opinion. I got this one from my grandma. She wrote everything down for me and I just followed it. So I actually told her I was going to make it and give her a taste test, but as you can see, I was crunched for time and that just didn't happen. She did end up eating some of it at the end when, I messed it up and it wasn't, giftable, but whatever. Here I am adding some coconut milk. This is going to be adding a lot of that flavor. I know some people also add some lemon zest, lime zest, or orange zest, or even juice. I didn't do that. I just wanted to keep it very neutral. I think the coconut milk added everything that I wanted it to add. And now here we are with the other half of the flour. And then we're going to be adding the rest of the milk in that container. That's also coconut milk. So here we go, mixing it up. And guys, I really wish that I had, like an end product picture. I don't. What you're going to see at the end is me pretty much cutting a little bit of the tops and the sides because I was getting ready to decorate it, and I was going to make this one long video on how to make this one heart-shaped cake. Like I said, it was kind of a fail, so I don't have the best picture to show you, but you will see, the end product of what I got. just not the best quality, you know, up to my standards. But it is what it is. I hope you guys got a little bit of information and an idea of this Dominican cake recipe. It's definitely one of a kind. I've never had a cake where I had to mix this many eggs and for this amount of time. This was definitely a bad idea to do this late night. I think I finished the cake at like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was ridiculous. So I have the rest of the coconut milk in there. I'm giving it one more mix, and I think this is it. I think I'm going to be going in with my spatula and just making sure again that all of the sides of the bowl are nicely incorporated. And I think it's going to be time for pouring. And I'm working with one single 8-inch pan. Again, who am I? Who do I think I am making a whole cake with one pan? Ridiculous. Here I want to show you guys the texture. It's just smooth, and look how glossy it is. Look how glossy that is. Oh my god, that's so glossy. Up until this point, I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm doing a great job. I was very, very impressed with myself at this point. Up until the frosting, guys. And the frosting honestly took longer than the cake. The frosting took even longer because it's something with egg whites, and it was just the whole process, and you have to just wait until the frosting thickens. Whatever, let's stop talking about that. I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to take our 8-inch cake pan, and we're going to be spraying that with some Pam for baking. It has a little bit of flour in it, so it's made specifically for baking. And now I'm going to be adding what I imagine is 1/3 of the batter to the pan. And now this is going to go in the oven at 350 for like 45 minutes. A pretty long time, I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I was up very late doing this. I don't recommend. Late night baking is definitely not for me. I get tired and irritated, but whatever. So this is the next day. I put them in the fridge after they baked, and if you can see the outside, it's just nice and golden brown, and the inside is just so fluffy and perfect. Oh my god. I was just eating some of those scraps. The cake came out so good, guys. It came out so good. I was very disappointed with the end product, but whatever. Let me stop talking about it. Let's talk about the positives, how good the cake came out. So I hope you guys like this recipe. It's not really a recipe, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and some of the commentary, and hope you learned something. And most of all, I hope that you go out and you try some Dominican cake, because it is truly life-changing. I did make dulce de leche and from scratch, and I put it in between the layers, and then I used the meringue frosting on the outside. It didn't look great, but it tasted really good, guys. It was a very, very good cake. I might try to remake it in the future, just to test myself and see if I can get it right this time. But for now, that's all I got, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.